Hi, this is Dave. So, do you have a value-added proposition in your business? And you're thinking, okay, I'm not sure. What is a value-added proposition? Well, first of all, a little background. There are, in the world of sales and marketing and sales systems, there are certain practices that have such an enormous impact on the company and the market that they really are a special class of activities that call for executive involvement at the highest levels. And one of those activities that I think are incredibly important for a sales and marketing system, one of them is the creation of a value-added proposition. Now, it can be known by other names. I call it a VAP, value-added proposition, but it can be an elevator speech. The idea of an elevator speech is very similar, for example. And basically, it's a set of words that is crafted with great care and thoughtfulness and is designed to reach out into the world of suspects and prospects and potential customers, reach out into that world, grab their attention, and convey your company's value in a way that seems compelling to them. So next to a company's vision, mission, and value statement, a VAP contains the most important words an organization can create. It often forms the first impression the market forms of your company, and it frequently bounces around in their heads like a tune from their teenage years. Well, the focus of a value-added proposition is on communicating your unique set of strengths to the customer in a way that makes practical sense to him or her. It has another just as powerful function. Think of it as a tool that not only reaches out into the market and conveys your image to them, enticing them to think of you as a possible source. That's one thing. It reaches out into the market, but at the same time, this thing reaches inward into your organization and forces you to become who you say you are. For example, if you say you provide great customer service, then you sure better have a great system in place. You sure better consistently hire the right people. You sure better train them thoroughly, measure the important variables, and continually improve. And if you don't do that, then your value-added proposition becomes an exercise in hypocrisy. You must be what you say you are, or the market will punish you. Okay, so you're wondering about an example. Here's one of the best examples I have seen. It was a number of years ago. I was driving to my office from my home, and my route took me past a number of fast food restaurants and diners and so on. And one day, I noticed a big banner hanging from the front of a Denny's restaurant, and it said, quote, "Breakfast, 5 minutes or it's free." Breakfast, 5 minutes or it's free, on a big banner. So I recognize it as the one-line version of a value-added proposition. Somewhere in the halls of Denny's headquarters, an executive team probably met to determine their unique blend of strengths and competencies and translate those into benefits for the customer. And that sober analysis may have gone something like this. Can you imagine this? I can. So they're talking to each other, and somebody says, in a world of lots of competitors, how do we stand out? Our food is average, our prices are ordinary, our restaurants are acceptable. Why would someone give us a try rather than the competitor down the block? And the ultimate answer was this: well, because we are fast. So we're fast morphed into, quote, breakfast, 5 minutes or it's free, as a banner in front of the restaurant. So I decided to give them a try, and I made a point of stopping in for breakfast one day. I noticed that when I ordered, the server looked at her watch and wrote down the time of the order on her order pad. She then reached into her pocket of her apron and handed me a stopwatch. So I clicked the stopwatch and waited patiently. My breakfast appeared within the stipulated 5 minutes. And I noticed the server when she delivered the breakfast, looked at her watch, noted the time of delivery on the order pad. So let's just think about this a minute. Their value-added proposition, 5 minutes or it's free, had reached out into the world and enticed me to try them. But just as importantly, it sent tentacles into the organization's operations and shaped them to be who they said they were. I suspect that some items came off the menu and others were added as a result of the value-added proposition. I know that new order forms had to be printed with a place for the order time, the delivery time. Of course, they had to invest in stopwatches. They had to train their wait staff in the new procedures. And I suspect that there are some short order cooks who no longer work at Denny's because they couldn't perform to the new requirements. So the value-added proposition impacted the company in two ways. First, it served as the initial foray into the market, establishing an image in the minds of the suspects and prospects of the world and enticing them with a unique benefit. But it also reached back into the operations of the organization and caused change in the people, the products, and the systems in order to shape the organization into becoming what they proclaimed they were. That's the power of a value-added proposition. So here's 3 steps. If you're convinced you ought to have one and you don't, then here's 3 steps to prepare it. I often recommend you start with one side of one piece of paper and then fill it up with answers to these kinds of questions. Who are you? What do you do? What do you do well? What problems do you solve, and why should anyone care? What difference does that make to your market? Why should someone do business with you? Just brainstorm answers to those questions. Fill up the page with thoughts. And then you edit them down into coherent 2 or 3 paragraphs that convey your unique set of strengths and competencies to the market and benefits to them. And when you have finished with that, okay, congratulations, but you only just begun. Now reduce that document to 1 paragraph, maybe maximum 250 words, that powerfully convey your company's primary benefit to the market. And when you've completed that, you're still not done. Now reduce it to 1 line, maybe 5 to 25 words. This takes some serious and creative work. It can take weeks, really, to refine your company's unique value to the market into a powerful and pithy set of words. You may want to test it with a focus group of customers before you commit to it, but it's worth it. You have 3 versions then. A 1-line version, which can now be in every ad you create, every web page, every piece of marketing collateral. It can form the tagline to your email signatures, become a part of every salesperson's banter. Everyone in the company can memorize it and speak it in all kinds of situations. Every time someone hears it or reads it, you're making an intentional impression, forming their image of your company. That's the 1-line version. The 1-paragraph version can appear in letters and emails and proposals, as well as in marketing brochures and web pages and so on. In situations where the customer has a bit more time, the 1-paragraph version provides him or her with a bit more substance. And then your 1-page version can be posted throughout the company, hung in company lobbies and lunchrooms, added to the company's orientation materials, and shared with every vendor and good customer. Now that's the impact of a well-conceived, value-added proposition. It truly is one of the most important set of words an organization can create. Okay, that's it. We're done. Bye-bye.